Using Claude Code to build n8n workflows is really powerful, but only if you set it up right. I'll show you how to use MCP servers, example templates, and background tasks, so Claude Code knows what you're actually trying to build. Plus, I'll show you how to deploy it to the cloud using the Hostinger VPS, but more on that later. When starting your n8n server locally, one tip I'd give you is let Claude Code manage it. I created a custom / command called n8n start. So if we run that, what it's going to do is load that n8n server in the background, and then give me a link to the server when it starts it. And doing it this way has a few advantages. Now if I do a down arrow click in Claude Code and select that background task, then I can see all the logs. So the first time I ran this, I had a bunch of errors in here, and environment variables needed to get set up, things like that. And now that it's actually inside Claude Code loaded into context, I can just fix any errors right from inside Claude Code. Also later on, if say we had a catastrophic error with one of our workflows, it's also automatically loaded into context because of a background task. And then clicking on that link inside Claude Code, it takes me right to the n8n dashboard. I can start building workflows. I find with n8n, it really helps to break down the problem into pieces first before you start building it. In this case, we're going to automate invoice processing for a large construction company. These type of companies will get lots of incoming invoices from their subcontractors, from their suppliers, and that'll come in all kinds of formats. So the first thing we have to do is do some OCR to take off the text from the invoices. Then we can add it to a processing queue, and then one by one, we could take those invoices that come in, send it to AI. But as well as that, give other information from the accounting system, such as does the vendor have a purchase order with the company? What are their payment terms? All that kind of data. Give that to AI as well, so it can make a decision on whether to pay the invoice or to reject it. And then if we map that to technology and add some phases, we're going to actually get the invoices coming to Google Drive to start with. So it'll be a common drop zone that all the vendors can add the invoices to. I'll show you a free way to do OCR in n8n. So we'll OCR all the invoices, we'll structure all that data and send it into a n8n database as a processing queue. That'll be our first workflow, and that's phase one. For phase two, we're going to send that data to AI. We're also going to pull in purchase orders that might be related to that invoice and send that into AI as well. We're going to use GPT-5 for that. Then with all that data, AI is going to make a decision whether to pay the invoice and when to pay it. And it's going to pass all that information to Stripe to actually pay the invoice if it's approved. Now that we've broken the work down, we have the big picture in mind. Claude Code actually needs three things before it can be effective at actually building the workflows. First is it needs examples. And the best place to do that is looking at your templates. And inside templates, you have the pre-built agents, which are good because they're nice and simple. That's the key thing. We want examples that are just simple using the technologies we want to use in our workflow. We don't want these huge complicated maps because it's just going to confuse Claude Code. And it's not really going to help us. You can also go to view all templates. And this is going to give you all the community ones as well. If we just search for Google Drive, we see one here that roughly matches our requirements. So this one's receipt scanning and analysis, but it's going to have a lot of the same components we want. It's going to have a Google Drive trigger. It's going to extract text, do some OCRing, and it's going to have an AI agent. And the nice thing, if you say use for free, you can just with one click import it into your self-hosted instance. The next thing we need is a way for Claude Code to have tools to actually grab all the n8n documentation and also actually edit workflows and update workflows. And we can do that with an n8n MCP server. Someone from the community has created one that works great. If we go into this and have a look at the Claude Code setup, what you want to do is do the full configuration. Basic configuration will just give you the documentation. It'll allow you to pull the documentation. But for this, we actually want Claude Code to build our workflow. So we want the full configuration. You can just copy this command. And the two things you have to change would be the API URL and the API key. To get the API key, you just have to go into settings and go n8n API and just create a new API key here and put that in. After you run that command, if you do a /MCP, you should see that server now. It should say connected here. And so what that means is Claude Code now has access to all these 41 tools as part of this MCP server. There's going to be things like tools documentation, getting a list of nodes, create workflows, validate workflow connections, all kinds of tools that are going to be really helpful now to actually build this. And the third thing to do to get everything set up ready for Claude Code is to add in all your credentials ahead of time. So in this case, I knew from all the examples I loaded in and my pre-planning that I needed an OpenAI API key, so I added that. Same for Space OCR. I know I needed to connect to Google Drive to actually get the invoices, so I added that in there, as well as my Postgres database, which is hosted on n8n. And then one thing I like to do after I add in all my credentials is I tell Claude Code to add those credentials, those references to the ClaudMD file, so they can be automatically applied to the workflow during creation and edits. Sometimes I found that if you don't do this step, it forgets about the credentials and doesn't add them automatically back to the nodes after you do edits, which is kind of annoying. Then it creates this nice ClaudMD file that has all the credentials listed and their IDs, so I can just plug them in later. The nice thing about putting the Claude MD files, every conversation you start in this project, it'll know these credentials right away and start using them when editing and building workflows. Now with all that prep work done, the actual building part in Claude Code will be pretty easy. You just put in our prompt just in natural language. So I'm going to say create a new n8n workflow, give it the name, and then say automatically process invoices from Google Drive. And then just list all the details you want. In this case, I'm going to be looking in the invoice dropdown folder in Google Drive. I'm going to check every minute for new files. Then when a new file is detected, I'm going to download it, and I'm going to send it over to the Space API, which is a free way to do OCR. I could also use GPT-5 or something like that, but this is just free and cheaper. That's just going to give me text back. Then I want to take that text and then use GPT-4o Mini to extract it into a JSON file that has the following fields. And then we're ready to put it into our database. I'm just going to say insert a record into the n8n database. I give it the table name. I'm going to say leave out the AI fields for now because remember, this is just the first phase. We'll get to those later. And then I just copy and paste the entire database structure right into the chat here. And then I forgot to actually add in there, use receipt scanning analysis workflow. That's the example I did earlier. So if I reference that, now it's going to help Claude Code build the workflow. In just a couple of minutes, I came back with a completed workflow and gave me a summary of everything that's created here. Now what I can actually do is just say validate the workflow, and it should call the MCP tool to actually validate it. And if there is any problems with it, the connections aren't set or anything, you can now fix it automatically. In this case, we have no errors. We do have some warnings, so we could look at those. Let's just test it out and see where we're at. This is the workflow that Claude Code produced for us. If I execute that workflow, let's just see if it gets through them all and actually executes successfully the first time. All right, looks good. Let's go through some of the key steps and let's see what it did. First, it downloaded the file from Google Drive. So I open up that step, I look in here. This is the invoice image from that folder, so that looks great. It's pulled it in. Then it has to convert it to base 64. Then it sends it to the OCR Space API. This looks good too. The output from that API is actually pretty extensive. It gives you every line and every word, and then it tells you where that word was in the document with the coordinates. If you want a really good free API for OCR, definitely check out that Space OCR. But that format's not suitable for us to go to a database. Let's just extract some of the OCR text, so it does that here. So it gets into a better format where it's just plain text now if you see the output. Then it takes that, passes it to OpenAI. In that case, it adds this prompt in here saying you're an expert in invoice extraction. And it says return a valid JSON object, and it tells it what fields it wants. So it's done that here in the output. But that still needs to be transformed nicely into one that we can use to insert to our database. And that's where this format for database step comes in. And what's actually done here is wrote a little piece of custom JavaScript that does that. It seems like it worked perfectly. Now we got all the fields we need. We even got the image URL, which links back to our Google Drive, to the actual image itself. And then lastly, this is the step I'm most impressed with. It actually connected to the n8n database, used the insert operation, and mapped all those fields that I got from the JSON file from OpenAI and mapped them to all the database columns. And it seems like it did it all correctly because all these fields are correct. It even allowed the ID to auto-generate. This is really good. This saved me a lot of time, and that pre-work we did really paid off. And if I open up my database, now I see the entry and everything's filled in correctly. And then I built this dashboard just to have a better view of the table. And this looks good. Its status is set as pending because this is just the first phase. So we're actually just setting it to pending as in it's in the system now. We don't have an AI decision or AI confidence yet. That's going to be the next phase. And if we go to view details, if we open the invoice image, it's going to link back to our drive. And so we actually see the original. That workflow is now working perfectly on my local system. But what I actually want to do is upload that to the cloud so I can give it to the customer and have them load real data through it. I'll show you a really easy and cheap way to do that with the sponsor of today's video, Hostinger. If you click on the first link in the description, it'll take you right to the page where you can buy your plan. With this kind of use case, the KVM2 is a perfect one to start with. If you put in the coupon code AI Unleashed, it'll give you another 10% on top of the current best price. Right now, they're starting their Black Friday deals early, so it's the best time of the year to buy. And then all you have to do is select your server location. It'll automatically give you the one with the best latency to where you are right now. So for me, that's the Phoenix location. And then under select operating system, it gets really easy because you can just select the n8n template. It's already going to have that build pre-configured for you, so you don't have to do anything else but just hit confirm. And Hostinger will take care of the rest. It's going to build you a secure, fast VPS with all the best settings. You can access it anywhere in the world. After a couple of minutes of built the server, you can go into your VPS settings and you can see everything and change everything you need to, add a domain, things like that. But now if you just go to manage app, it brings us right to our working instance of n8n running in the cloud. And migrating the workflows is really easy. Just switch back to your local instance, open that workflow, hit on the three-dot menu and just say download. And it'll just download a JSON file, which is the representation of this workflow. And then switching back to n8n, all we have to do is say create workflow, three-dot menu again, and say import from file. Just select that file we just downloaded and there it is. But because all the credentials have secure information in them, like API keys, we do need to recreate those credentials again. So I've re-entered all those credentials. Let's just see if I execute the workflow again. It looks good. If I refresh my invoice management, there I see the duplicate there. That was pretty impressive for the point where I said go on the virtual private server to the point I got the workflow working again. In Hostinger, it took me about 10 minutes, which is pretty amazing. Thanks so much to Hostinger for sponsoring this video. So let's take stock of where we are right now. We've built phase 1, which took the invoice, OCR'd it, and then put it into a processing queue. Now it's ready to go to the next step. And for phase 2, I think I'm going to create a separate workflow that just looks at that processing queue, looks at that table in the database, and finds all pending entries in there. And for every entry, it's going to pass all those details about the invoice to GPT-5. As well as that, we're going to do a search in our accounting system. And for now, I'm going to keep that in my database as well in a separate table. It's going to search for a purchase order number that's the same as the one on the invoice. It's going to bring that to GPT-5 as well, and then ask the AI to make a recommendation about if the invoice should be paid and why. And my virtual private server is working so well now, I think I'm just going to switch my MCP server we set up earlier. I'm going to repoint it to this new cloud instance on Hostinger. And the nice thing is now when I built the phase 2 workflow, I can reference that phase 1 workflow. So I can say, get all pending invoices from the n8n database and refer to phase 1 workflow for connection and query details. Now, the interesting thing is I'm going to send both invoice and PO data to OpenAI's GPT-5 with instructions to reject if no PO found unless it's less than $500, flag for review if the vendor name doesn't match, flag for review if the invoice exceeds the PO by more than 10%, reject if the PO status is closed, approve if all checks pass. Definitely expand this in the future, but you get the idea. We're trying to bring in all the data and give the AI some guidelines on how to approve and reject invoices. And then at the end here, we just paste in our PO table that tells it exactly what to look for. And this is the workflow I built for phase 2, so let me just execute it and just see if it actually works. So right now I have 2 pending invoices in my database, so it ran these steps twice, which is great. And all the heavy lifting here is really done in this AI invoice analysis. So we open that one up. And if we look at how Claude Code built this, is using GPT-5. Now we see on the left here in the input has the invoice, but it also has the purchase order. So let's grab the purchase order as well. That links up with this invoice. And then the prompt we see has added all the decision criteria here. This looks very promising. And if we see back in our dashboard, we see one's rejected, one's approved. We look at the approved one. This should be the one that matches the PO. So the PO is found. I have something in my PO table that matches this one. So it says vendor matches, invoice amount is within PO budget, and PO status is open. So it approved that with 98% confidence. And the other one without a matching PO, it rejected it, saying no PO number provided, no matching purchase order found. And per the policy, anything over $500 without a PO must be rejected. I've had a lot of success building and iterating on n8n workflows using Claude Code. I'd like to hear your experiences. Have you tried it? And any tips you can give me? Leave them in the comments below. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'll talk to you in the next one.